Come on, come on. Look, the alto trying to come in. Well. Come on.
Turn on the video, record everything.
And will lead me home. All right. Come on. Yes. And thou, sun is bright shining as the sun. We know less time. All right. To sing God's praise. Being we first begun. All right.
Look, you're choir director.
Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Well. Praise God. 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 Well, I tell you, Shannon, John will be proud of you. Personally, well, let's look at it this way. If I were going to buy a Mercedes, I wouldn't go and talk to someone who owned a Volkswagen. I would talk to someone who's already been in that position that could give me some insight. I remember when I was elected Grandmaster, past Grandmaster Benjamin Barksdale, past Grandmaster Neil A. McQueen came to my office. They sat and they talked, and they shared some things with me. Some I could use, and I used. Some I thought I couldn't use, I listened, and that was it. But it's always good to check with those who've already served in that capacity. Not that you can use everything, but if they've been there, trust me, they can give you some valuable information.
Being in a position gives you a certain understanding of what needs to be done. So it's always good to speak to someone that has been there before, that probably can give you a little head start on where you ought to be going, things that are not exactly right, that could be changed, and try to adjust as you go. Good advice is always well accepted.
Well, I feel the same as our past Grand has just stated. However, I'm a type of person that I would rather be asked in and up other than be asked to get away. So if I'm invited, I will be more than happy. I do not like to just give advice all the time because I am past Grand Worthy Matron. I know everything. Not so. As the year has progressed and changed, things have changed. This order has changed since I was Grand Worthy Matron, and I realized that. So some of the things that I may have done in my tenure, our Sweet 16 Grand Worthy Matron may not need those ideas. However, I'm here for her, and she knows that. And like I said, I would rather be asked in or up than to be asked down. So invite me. If I have something to tell someone, I will be glad to do that. So I let people do the things they want to do and the way they want to do it.
When I became Grand Worthy Matron, the past grands told me that they would be there for me to assist in any way that I needed to. All I just needed to do was give them a call. Sister Belle Clark, I call her the mother of our group. She's just gonna tell you what you're gonna do. And you're gonna listen to her. And you still, if you do what you wanna do, you better have a good reason for doing it. Sister Vashti, she said the same thing almost, but she said it because we're close to an age, we understood each other. My sister over here next to me, you just gonna do it. But as sisters, as we are, we do what we wanna do. But it was good to know that they were there for me. And there was something that I always said, and I even told my sister Dee, never said, this is the first time. Because it's never the first time when you're the 16th, the 15th, the 14th, and the 13th. Because the 12, 9, 8, and the others probably have done it before. So we say, we're gonna do this and we're just gonna keep on moving. But they have been really good to me. And for me, with my 16th, she knows we just tell it like it is. We tell it like it is. And whatever help that she needs, if she needs me, I give it to her. But if she doesn't ask, I slide it to her anyway. For me, I can attest to what Sister Vashti has said, and also to our 15th, but wisdom and experience go far in life. And with our 11th, Sister Ruby C. Clayton, our 12th, Sister Bill S. Clark, our 13th, Sister Vashti Grimes Pullins, whose shoulders I had to stand on. Not only that, I stood with Brother Aaron Kent when I went in as my patron, but I also had Brother Felton Hudson to stand on, and Brother Willie B. Coleman. But their experience, their wisdom, their words of kindness, and best I said, just ask me, and I'll give you whatever aid I can. I'll be here for you. Sister Clark said, just pray, girl. Just pray. And we think sometimes those are just pray, you could do it. But you learn the power of prayer, especially when someone behind you, like Sister Clayton saying, I'm praying for you. So I think wisdom, experience, and being given the opportunity to know if I need to call on someone, I'm not in this by myself. I got somebody else that I can rely on and depend upon.
I firmly believe a grandmaster must be a good listener. He must evaluate what he hears. He must closely observe those that he's serving with and for. And of course, as you have just heard from the past Grand Worthy Matron, you have to be prayerful and allow the Grand Architect of the universe to guide your footsteps.
I want to thank past Grandmaster David and others. Obviously, we didn't have any past Grandmaster. You have to get the foundation, how it came about after all the years you was talking about that we do have our past Grandmaster. I want to thank the brothers who had the voting rights, that we under Neil A. McCrane, if there was going to be a past Grandmaster, we had to have tenure. And that's when we got together, Grand Lodge officers, and said we need tenure. First, Grandmaster McCrane said 2 years. I said 2 years. He said, no. So I said, well, 4 years like the President of the United States. I said, well, I don't know. So we came together and said 5 and that's it. So we had more than that. That's how we came to have past Grandmaster at that period of time. 5 years tenure in Florida used it, and so a few other states. So I want to thank the members because I want to go on record and say I thank the brothers because no grandmaster, no one else can do anything alone.
That's right.
You got to have the members, and you think of the members first before you think of yourself. You're a good leader. Thank you.
Well, during my tenure and for his advice, I've been getting some pretty good advice from Sister Clayton and Sister Clark. A lot of y'all don't know that, but they used to call me. And I used to call them for advice, some things because they know. And I think that the advice that I got, it might not be much, but Sister Clayton told me one time when I first became that whatever you do, you listen to your wife. You listen to your wife. She's a sounding board, but she can help you. And that was the best advice that I had. If it wasn't for my wife, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know how the people would treat me, you understand? But Sister Clayton and Sister Clark, they taught me how to be a gentleman within this order of the Eastern Star. So all I do now, they say, sit up there and look good. And know your work. That's Sister Clayton, You sit up there and look good, but know what you're doing. And that's what I do. I sit up there and look good and read my rituals and rules and regulations.
All right.
So I've had some good advice.
Well, I think I'm fortunate to have been in this order long enough to actually witness 25 years of phenomenal, grand, worthy matrons. Sister Clayton actually taught me patience because I was very young under her administration, and I remember sitting there saying, won't she speed up? Won't she speed up? And I realized that that was Sister Clayton. She was always going to take her time. Under Sister Belle Clark, I was the Atlanta District Matron, and so I had the opportunity to work with her. But I thank God for her now because Sister Clark will not go more than a month and call and give me advice, like the 15th said, and tell me what to do. But she always says that I'm praying for you. And she gave me a book that I actually keep by the bed, Too Stressed to Be, Too Blessed to Be Stressed. And when she calls, she'll say, did you read your daily word this morning? Because she wants to know that I'm using the book. So I thank God for her. Sister Vasti, she brings to the table for me so much energy that I witnessed under her administration. And I try to exhibit that same energy, enthusiasm, and love for the order that she brings. So I continue to say that I've got 25 years of wisdom and knowledge and great leadership to follow. I think the 14th, because as Grand Worthy Matron shared, she contains so much knowledge. So much knowledge. And if I have any questions about our history and our ritualistic work, that's where I go for to the 14th and then the 15th. Yes, she can talk to me any kind of way, and she does. So again, what I learned from the past grands is to respect them at all times and to love them unconditionally for what they've done for this jurisdiction of Georgia.
There's so much to say about the past grands, grand masters and grand matrons. I've gotten advice from all of them, and I appreciate it at all times. And especially with Sam knows I don't drink, so he tells me every time I have a problem, he says, well, you need to get you a shot of liquor, you'll be all right. It's a joy to be with to serve Grand Matron Wilson here. It's a genuine joy. I learned from her as well, and she advised me well. But the same thing I hear from all of you, from each and every one of you, is to say, CJ, be yourself. So if people like you, you like the people, be yourself. And I appreciate that from all of you.
It's unfortunate that we've traveled upon a level of time that has brought us to a point where many of our leaders are questioning current leadership or prior leadership or so forth and so on. It's unfortunate, and I guess fortunate too as well, that when I became Grand Master, there was somewhat controversy, and there was somewhat some kind of attitudes, and this is just calling it for what it is. I can attest to the fact that every one of these individuals that's sitting around here now, there were a lot of great things that happened under their administration, and they all governed, and they all ruled, and they all led by way of their ability and what they deemed necessary as their leadership. And so, again, it's unfortunate that for some reason, time has brought about a situation or time that we oftentimes, are quick to point fingers once someone has gone on or moved on and so forth and so on. And to be honest with you, I think that affects all of our ability to lead. It affects our church, it affects government, it affects fraternal organizations, civic organizations. And so during my tenure, I didn't seek a whole lot of assistance and guidance from the previous grandmasters, and for whatever reason, I didn't. I did talk with some individuals who may have served in other jurisdictions and so forth and so on. That's not to say that the previous grandmasters were not capable or not good or whatever. But in leadership, I really think that if we're to get to where we need to be, the team concept of whomever is leading now has to corral those individuals who are behind them to buy in to what they're trying to do. And if we are able to do that, it will definitely help the structure to move forward. I think in our 150 years of existence, and when we look at 3 grandmasters serving more than 90 plus years, you have to ask yourself the question, did we drop the ball somewhere? Because there were a lot of years that went by that people passed away. When the baton was passed, oftentimes, well, I'm going to do it my way, and that affects the membership. And when you look at the history of organizational structure, when that next member comes in and you look at the numbers, I tasked Brother Gillon with researching and looking at our numbers from where we are, which in a lot of our black organizations, we don't look at that to see where our strengths are. Are we growing, or are we in a demise state? And so it's important for us to not necessarily look back and say, let me look back to the previous person, but it's important to build what we already have to be able to make that organization strong. Because if we're not doing that, we're really and truly, we're sinking sand. And so I think right now that our organization, this Prince Hall body, organizations in general, we got to put aside all of these selfish attitudes and these personal feelings and be about the whole versus that which you may have some sensitivity about. So when we do that, we are able to lead our people. When our people see that there may be dissension, there may be some tightness, when there's some thick air, when our people see that, it resonates into the local lodges, which ultimately deteriorates the structure. Membership starts falling. And so I hope and pray to see one day that soon, and very soon, that we get on board. Everybody, get on board. We didn't get to this point by, pointing fingers and being negative. We're at a time that we have to get on board and recognize the fact that everybody has a difference in their way of being administrators. And when we can do that, we can get somewhere. And we can respect that and move. And no one person is going to do it all the ways right. But when they do something wrong, I think it's imperative that instead of making a big fire, is to corral ourselves together and let's really talk about it, and talk about it with dignity and respect. So that's where I am on that.
All right, look, that's going to conclude what we wanted to accomplish here today. This is definitely historic. I don't know any other jurisdiction that has ever had this many past grants together to do an interview. So I know you mentioned about the first. I think we may be the first one to accomplish it. At least that's the story I'm going to tell for right now. This is something that's going to live on throughout our jurisdiction for all time. Something that Butler seemed to, at the 50th anniversary, he seemed to look forward to the 100th anniversary. And now the 100th anniversary of the XL deal, he looked forward to the 150th. And now with Grandmaster Shackelford, he's looking forward to the 200th. And the 200th anniversary, something like this will be shown to the membership. So definitely want to thank you all for your time. And hey, that's all I have, unless anybody has anything else.
Thank you.
I have one. I want to commend Grandmaster, Grand Historian. During my tenure, I gave Dave just wide range to do what you need to do as far as the history. And what we're doing now is the one thing that black folk don't take any pride in, and that is preserving our history, because everybody knows the history of Prince Hall Matron but black folk. And I think that we, as an organization, I think we're on something. Grandmaster Shack, Dave, but we gotta get it out there. We gotta get it out there. Our people don't know anything about our history, no more than the little that they've been told. Brother Charles Ferguson was inspirational in me understanding the history and how important it is. Those preceding books many of them are missing, that our members have taken out of 330, that's in the homes of some of our members. Our history is missing, and you and what you are doing for this organization, I think it needs to be talked about in a big way. I think we need to capture this stuff on CNN, because it's imperative that we preserve our history and tell the story the way it is, the way it was, and the way it's going to be. Because only us are going to be able to do that. Because other folks are buying all of our history, preserving all our history, keeping all our history from us, and we're not doing what we should do to put it out there to make them understand it. It actually should be a part of our initiation. The history. I thought somebody else was.
I just want to say, I shared with the Grandmaster that I'm very impressed with the things he's already done. It was alluded to by past Grandmaster James about the controversy. And I truly believe that what the sitting Grandmaster has begun is starting a healing process. I'm grateful. Thank you, sir.
Amen.
I want to say thank you to Brother Gillum as well for the time he spent in the Grand Chapter office with me looking through the history book. I just want to share with you that those questions, some of the facts that we've discussed, I passed to the 14th Grand Worthy Matron, and the History Committee shared those questions during Grand Session. And we actually gave, little prizes to those that knew the answers to those questions. Are you still filming? I'm sorry. didn't know. I thought we were just talking. But we are using our history, and I thank you. We are also trying to preserve our history books and trying to find a way, you know, like you were doing, using the glove and those fine pages, and trying to figure out a way that we don't lose our history as well. We know we're missing one history book at this time, so we're in search of that as well, because you are right. Once the history is lost,
You and I rode together and got this together, good music and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
The best piece of advice I think. Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, I thought, you know, we will. And you know what? I thought you were going to say, oh, we're going to go down, we're going to get some shoes now.
Marilyn, thank you, dear.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. I got to get your number. I don't have your number. You don't have anything
I'm
but
gonna
your
make sure you
number.
get it before I leave.
All right.
Man, appreciate you, sir.
We gonna go